Welcome to Blue Compass, where in today's live webinar, we're talking about SEO beyond your website. So today we're going to be sharing with you some tactics that you can do to get more visibility online. And search engine optimization has changed significantly in the last couple of years, especially this last year. You know, there's a lot of organizations out there that are still doing the older techniques from years ago, just putting keywords on web pages. And while that's really important, there's so much more to it now. So I'm really excited to have a couple experts here with us today. I have Kaylee and Katrina, members of our digital marketing team. And Kaylee, I wanted to start with you. We've been talking a lot about social search. What is social search and what does that have to do with SEO?
Yeah, so social search is just the user behavior trend that's referring to when people are now utilizing social platforms as their search engine rather than going to a traditional search engine like Google first. So now more than ever, we see that users are utilizing social platforms rather than going to Google. Google may still be part of the experience, it's just not where they're starting. And so a good example to illustrate this would just be how you and I are going about finding something that we want to buy now. It's just very different than it was a few years ago. A few years ago, if we wanted to buy a new pair of shoes, for the sake of this example, we'll say we want pink tennis shoes. So if I wanted pink tennis shoes a few years ago, I would have typed something like that into Google and I would have done my whole research journey there. I would have compared brands, styles, prices. I would have looked at reviews. I maybe would have clicked to a couple of different brand websites, maybe a couple of blogs to see what people are saying about it before making my decision. And that entire experience could happen through a search engine. Whereas now, think about where you spend most of your time. It's on social for a lot of users. So like for me, I might start this experience unknowingly on TikTok. I might be doing something else on there and then I see an influencer I follow wearing pink tennis shoes and I think, yep, that's what I've been wanting. And then from there, I won't necessarily jump straight to Google. I might continue that journey within TikTok. So using your social search within TikTok, I can then look at other influencers that maybe have the same pair of shoes. Or I could be looking at what are other types of pink tennis shoes that influencers might be wearing. That could give me other ideas. Maybe they're less expensive. Maybe they're more comfortable, just maybe fitting what I'm looking for. So I am most likely to continue that journey within that platform. And then that can even just jump cross-platform as well. So maybe I narrow down, yes, I know I want Adidas pink tennis shoes, but I'm not sure if I want to buy them right now. I might go over to Instagram and follow the brand over on Instagram. Over there, maybe they share sales more. Maybe I'm already following the influencer over there that posted on TikTok, and I know that she shares coupon codes all the time. So you may find that you find yourself jumping cross-platform before you ever even consider Google. Now, where Google can come into play is maybe I know that I want to buy these Adidas pink tennis shoes and I'm just not ready to pull the trigger yet. But when I am, if I remember Adidas, I might then type that into Google. Maybe it's Adidas pink tennis shoes if I can't remember the exact style. But then after I've already done all of my initial research, I might then hop over to Google to complete my search and just hop right on over and then convert from there. So regardless of the exact path that users are taking now to complete their purchases, the one thing we know for sure is that it's just wildly different than the search experience was just a few years ago.
It makes things a lot more complicated, honestly, for marketers now because, you know, users are jumping to so many different platforms.
Yes.
But I mean, I think it emphasizes like how important it is to not just put all your eggs in one basket, not just focus on one platform. And I think this is where like organic and paid social posting can be really helpful.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry, Katrina.
You're good. It increases the need for branded search inorganic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole journey Kaylee was talking about, she did her research on other platforms. There were so many other things that went into play there. But by the time she knew she was ready to do a search, make her purchase, and have that intention, she knew what brand she wanted. She pretty much knew the shoe she wanted. She might not have remembered the exact style name, but all of that happens and it increases the need for branded search and making sure that your brand name is well known both in all of the social, the other platforms we're talking about, and that you have a really solid SEO presence from that branded side as well.
Absolutely. So that actually brings up a case study that I wanted to mention. So SEO Works, which is a UK-based marketing company, they conducted a case study recently, and they found that websites with a high percentage of branded traffic were the best performers all around. So what that would signal is that Google may be prioritizing businesses that have a strong brand presence digitally. So that's making it more important than ever to have a consistent brand presence across all of your social platforms, having that be consistent with your website. So utilizing branded terms in your social posts, in your bios, making sure you have a consistent brand aesthetic, making sure that every social platform is an extension of your website so it all ties back together is going to help you build that brand awareness and that strong brand presence that Google will help hopefully bump you in search over time. The more that users are searching for your brand name and landing on your website, it's just going to continually make your business perform better organically.
And one thing that we sometimes say is that, Google isn't always the search engine it used to be. In a lot of ways, it's becoming the validation engine. A lot of times people are searching on these social platforms and then validating that search or going to, the actual brand page through Google. I'd love to talk about YouTube, Katrina. Google owns YouTube. It's the second biggest search engine there is right now. YouTube is obviously important, but today in modern SEO, how important is it to have a YouTube strategy when it comes to search?
Absolutely. We know that video's been important for SEO strategies for a couple of years now, but YouTube specifically is becoming more and more important. And we're seeing that as Google has started to increase the amount of videos that they're showing in search results pages. So it used to be that you would have like a separate section that literally just had video call outs in it. And we all knew what types of queries to expect that for. Maybe it was a how-to, maybe it was something that was easy to demo in a video. But we're starting to see those everywhere now. They're even in the PAA when you open, like you search for a question and there's more questions somebody might ask in the people also ask section. When you open those, we can have video results in there now. We're seeing video incorporated into almost every space of a search result. And so that's why it's even more important that we're making sure we're incorporating YouTube into our strategies here. Drew mentioned it's the second largest search engine. So we've got Google, we've got YouTube, and then we've got social search. So those three are so wildly important right now. And that's where we're seeing so many traffic patterns change. So it's really important to have those in there. My favorite part of YouTube SEO is that it aligns so well with regular SEO too. If you're thinking about the best practices that you have for your website, we need solid keyword inclusion. Okay, let's put a video together about it. It can be the three of us talking about something. We're asking each other questions. That's really rich for SEO. We're giving detailed answers. That's really rich for SEO. You're naturally using those keywords into your messaging and your marketing. So it just makes for high quality content right there. You also have the metadata from your video. So we've got the titles, we've got the keywords, we've got the hashtags. If you go far enough to include timestamps in your videos, all of those things are really high value SEO ranking factors that happen so naturally when you're doing a YouTube video. So it works really well without having to increase or think too hard about your technical SEO strategy. And then we're seeing AI start to blend video into search results more. So as you start to do certain queries, especially the how-to based ones is where our team personally has seen it most, but even in ChatGPT, you can start to get video results in the platform. We're seeing this in other platforms too, but as AI starts to increase that multimodal type search, and they're starting to give you those results in so many different formats, you need to stay ahead of the curve. You need to be prepared with video content that's going to answer the questions you want, get the eyes on your brand that you want. And Kaylee was just talking about how important it is for us to have that solid brand presence. You need that in your videos too, whether it's having your logo at the bottom, whether it's making sure that you're showing your brand name in those first couple seconds for somebody who doesn't watch all the way through. All of those branding best practices that we have on social and for our social videos apply over on YouTube as well. So it's really that like foundational pillar of modern SEO today is incorporating it into your YouTube strategy.
When search engines started, especially Google, like in the late 90s, the thing that set Google apart was its weight of links in its algorithm. So Google decided that, okay, if someone's going to link to your web page, that's a really positive sign that you have great content, and therefore we should probably rank that page higher. And Google still does that to some degree, but links have become less important than they used to be. And now, like AI platforms, search platforms are sophisticated enough that they don't necessarily need a link to know that you're talking about a certain brand or a product or service. A mention is sufficient. And this is one of the ways that video can be really powerful. And same with podcasts. It's really, really easy to mention a brand or a product or service in a video. And it's easier to do so than in the written word. That's still really important. But I mean, you think of if you film, a 30-minute video or something, you can reference your brand or something positively so many times. And now pretty much any video or audio you put online is being transcribed by all these platforms. Like it knows all the words that are being said. So it's a really powerful way beyond everything you said to get mentions for your brand when you put together a video.
You can take it even a step further of, yes, it's picking up on the mentions. Yes, you can write a keyword-rich description for your video, but you can also, if you're putting that video on your website, you can utilize video schema. You can really mark that up in a way that it makes it so clear to Google in their language of, this is the topic of the video. Here's a keyword-rich description. Here are relevant keywords as well, and then including those timestamps. So users would be able to just jump to the specific section, especially if it's a long video that is relevant to the topic that they're looking for. Like those are all ways that you can make your YouTube SEO, your website, and like organic search all play really well together.
And to double down on that timestamp comment, if you think about what videos we're seeing in search results right now, normally they have those little dots at the bottom so you can see the progress bar. Google's not taking you to the beginning of a video. It's rare somebody's going to get the full intro to end unless they're organically finding you or somebody sent them a link to that. They're getting that specific snippet that ties to what was that specific question or headline that makes sense for them to watch that small piece of content. So having those that quality all the way through is really important since people might not see that message start to finish.
Totally.
And then one more piece on videos that I'm thinking of now that kind of goes without saying. Videos are also great, not just for the algorithms, but for the user. And so many people love to just consume video content and maybe, web page copy isn't their favorite. And so it's a really good experience to like embed a really good video that, gives you the same sentiment as the copy on the page so that someone can go there and watch it instead of read it if they choose to do so. So it's just a great user experience overall.
We see engagement times dramatically increase when there's a quality video that ties to the content embedded in that page. So it helps so many ranking factors and really the digestibility of that content.
Yep. All right, before we get on to the next one, quick shout out here. If we can help you with any of this SEO stuff, if we can help you get more visibility online, this is something our experts do all the time. We do it each and every day. We're really, really great at getting your target audience to your website, to do conversions on your website, to submit that form. And SEO is our specialty. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us at bluecompass.com. All right. So Kaylee, I wanted to move on to local SEO. So there's so many changes over this last year in Google search engine result pages. There's, AI results. There's people also ask, there's AI mode. There's so many images, like things are changing so much. Like in this world we're in now, what about Google Business Profile? Does that still matter? How important is it? What are your thoughts?
So short answer is absolutely yes, it does matter. Even amidst all of the changes to the local SEO landscape and just how SERPs look now versus they did a couple years ago, GBP or Google Business Profiles are still highly prominent. They still appear toward the top of the page. And they are so important for a couple of reasons. One, they provide that quick snapshot for a user of that integral business information they'd be looking for: hours, address, phone number, name. But a well-optimized Google Business Profile goes well beyond that. So it goes beyond even just your profile that would show up on the right side there in search. You can appear for non-branded terms. That would be your ideal. Like, yes, at Blue Compass, we would love for our Google Business Profile to show up if someone searches Blue Compass. but we would love it even more if we were showing up for the types of services we offer, web development company, SEO agency, whatever it might be. And if you optimize your Google business profile, utilizing all of the features and functionality, you utilize keywords in your business description, you can appear for those types of queries. That can manifest itself in a couple of ways. You can show up in the local pack. That's still a really coveted, rich result. It usually appears very prominently toward the top of the page. It has your 3 local businesses that it'll show.
The little map, right?
Yep, with the map adjacent to it. That is highly coveted. It tends to be highly engaged with. It's just very visual. It shows up toward the top of the page. Very similar, but a little different, you can also show up in maps. So users on mobile, utilizing their phone to try to find businesses near them, especially if you're a B2C business that caters to customers in person, really crucial to have an optimized Google business profile so you'd be eligible to appear there and hopefully appear over other competitors of yours. So how do you optimize your Google business profile to make sure you can appear in all of these things? First and foremost, making sure that you have accurate business information that exactly matches your website. And we do this down to the abbreviations you use. So if your address is 123 North Avenue, if you shorten Avenue to AVE period on your website, that is how it should appear on your Google business profile. And this just makes it so you're not leaving it up to interpretation with Google of, is this the same business or not? So it reinforces both to Google and the user. If you have the same phone number, the same address, everything should line up. And really any local listing you have across digital properties should be exactly the same. That's going to help just reinforce that you are who you are. Adding service areas is another really big one. So if you serve customers outside of your exact business address and you serve a metro or surrounding states, you can add up to 20 service areas on your Google business profile. And that's really important to increase your eligibility to appear for more local searches. So finding users not just in your city, but maybe like here, we're in West Des Moines for Blue Compass, but we also serve Waukee and Des Moines and all of the surrounding cities. We also serve clients nationwide. So it's not just at a city level. You can include this by state. Technically, you can include at the country level, but we like to be as specific as possible to really optimize for those local queries. And then lastly, I would say using products and services in tandem. That is one of the biggest game changers, I think, for businesses is to utilize both of those. And I know some businesses might be thinking, okay, I only offer a service, I don't offer a product, but you can adapt your services to be able to fit in that space. And there's so much benefit to doing both. So products are very visual. You have an image that you can upload for each. You have a title, a 1,500 character description, which is just a lot of opportunity for keyword inclusion. And then also each of these products can link to individual pages on your website. So add a trackable URL on there to make sure you can measure that and where it's coming from. But that's allowing you even more opportunities for users to hop off of your GBP onto your website. Another great thing about products is they appear on your profile on both desktop and mobile. So these are just very highly prominent and visual and a great way to get users to your website. Services, on the other hand, are super important, although admittedly they're a little more limited when you look at just some of their specs. So you have a short title and a 300 character description that you get to use. So definitely short and sweet. You don't have as much space you're working with. They do not link off to your website, but I don't want you to think that that means that it's not important. Services are incredibly important because they have a hidden SEO benefit. They kind of work behind the scenes. They don't even appear on your profile on desktop the majority of the time. They can appear on mobile, but what they can do is help you appear for more relevant queries within the local pack, within maps. So when a business shows up in that local pack, it often, if your search was about a specific service, so personally, I'm looking for painters right now. I want interior painting done at my house. So I could see which ones have, when I was searching for interior painters, cabinet painters, it showed your 3 businesses up there. It shows their reviews. And then it also has like services offered, and it pulls in some of those key terms if they appear in their services. So that's a great way to signal to users what specific things you do so Google can best match your business with their query. without the user even having to go to your website. That was a quick way for me to weed out which painters I wanted to reach out to of, okay, who is actually having cabinet painting in there. Now, is it possible some businesses don't have their services filled out, so then they weren't part of my search process? Absolutely. But that just shows how important it is when there's so many competitors in any field that you're up against. Utilizing those features could be the thing that makes you stand out and show up more prominently in search.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's, the other day, Kaylee, you were telling me about a healthcare client that we were working with, and we optimize their Google Business Profile. And I think it's like Google Business Profile is just something that's easy to miss, and it's easy to just rush through and fill out your information. But there's a lot of strategy behind it too. And we just followed our best practices. And 2 weeks after we did so, it increased the engagement rate with the Google Business Profile increased 141%, which is awesome and just a testament to how optimizing and using best practices can really pay off and get a lot more people aware of your brand and to your website.
One of the common misconceptions that I see is clients not wanting to use the products and services because they either say, I'm a service-based organization, I don't have products that I'm selling directly. An example of that could be a pest control company. Technically, they're not going to give you the product that they're using, so they're hesitant to maybe use a product-based card. But it's really knowing how to take advantage of those opportunities, how we can talk about your services in a product base there. And it is crazy some of the results that we're able to see with this. Even companies that aren't like maybe ready to do a new website yet or something like that, but the impact that a really solid Google Business Profile can make for them, how many more people they're able to get in front of from a branding and awareness perspective, how many more conversions we're able to get from clients. Google Business Profile is one of the local SEO hacks for people who do in-person service that we've seen some tremendous results with this year.
Absolutely. And then I would also say here that Google is constantly rolling out new features and functionality within Google Business Profiles. So a last best practice here would just be to monitor your profile on a regular basis. You never know what type of new feature you'll be able to utilize that would describe your business really well or get a user to want to choose your business over a competitor. And then it's also good to monitor because Google often will make unauthorized changes to your Google Business Profile. An example of this is within services. Google thinks based on your website and your business description and other things on your profile that they know what you do better than you do. So they will just add services to your profile. And you'll be able to see that if you go to edit your services, you'll see that Google made a change and you'll see all the ones highlighted that they added. And although sometimes they can be relevant, sometimes they're very much not relevant. So this is a best practice for us. Any of our clients that we work with on a regular basis with Google Business Profiles, we are in there just monitoring the profile, ensuring we don't have anything showing up that they don't do. They don't want to get a lead on something that they don't actually do or offer. And then in the event that maybe Google adds something that's like, yeah, we do that, still go through and write a keyword-rich description with it. Google's not going to do that work for you, that it's still really good to be on top of that. And then lastly, be on top of your reviews. Always using that as an opportunity to respond to those that are taking the time for a review, both positive or negative, is really going to help your business stand out.
Google does like to jump in and automatically make updates to a lot of lot of things. So generally, it's good to do that on your own. Google maybe means well, but you know more about your brand than Google does. Okay, Katrina, I got to ask about this one. Everyone's talking about AI, obviously. What about ChatGPT? I know we're seeing more traffic coming from AI platforms like ChatGPT, like Gemini, to our clients' websites. Is it possible to optimize a website to show up in ChatGPT?
Totally. There's so much we can do to have a better presence and a stronger presence in AI-based platforms right now. So we started to notice in our Google Analytics accounts probably like 2-3 months ago at this point in time that we were actually seeing, if we started to dig into the referral URLs that we were seeing traffic from, we could see things like opensource.ai. We could see things like ChatGPT. There were so many AI platforms that we were starting to be able to track our traffic from analytics through. So that was a really cool experience to be able to see that and be able to have that validation, which really got us thinking about what does this mean? How else can we talk about this? Just a couple stats to share from analytics from AI-based traffic that we're seeing. We are seeing some really heavily engaged sessions in there. So for example, Blue Compass, we had over 380 active users from AI platforms in a really short amount of time. We had 257 engaged sessions from AI platforms. And while those numbers aren't huge, and that's not a big percentage of our traffic, it's still awesome to have a couple hundred people coming back from a platform that we're not actively seeking out traffic from or actively doing advertising or paid marketing on.
And those numbers will grow.
Those numbers will continue to grow. Absolutely. ChatGPT was the top source of AI platform traffic for Blue Compass specifically that we were looking at. And then looking at a client, we had a client who received 4 key events, which nowadays the old version of that would have been conversions, but it was specifically form fills that came over a 3-month period that we were looking at for a client. And to have somebody who was that invested based on what they saw in the AI platform. So just a little proof of concept that this stuff works. And when they are coming back to you, even though those numbers are small, having that high of a conversion percentage from the traffic is really, really cool to see. So if you want to know more about how you can find that traffic specifically on your website, if you go to bluecompass.com/AI traffic, we've got an article that can tell you exactly how to find it. There's a couple filters you can put into place, exactly where you need to go to find that in the Google Analytics platform. It's got all the details for you. But back to Drew's question, which was how can we optimize our websites to get more of this AI traffic? It's a lot of our classic SEO best practices that we follow. So it's really good stuff to do. One of the first things that we recommend for people who are looking, is my website going to be able to show up in an AI search platform? Just put it in there. Like if ChatGPT is your preferred platform, for example, open up ChatGPT, find a blog on your website or a service page that you want to know if it shows up, put it into ChatGPT and say, can you give me a summary of this? If it's able to spit back a summary for you, that means it's first of all crawlable. So that's a really great sign. Second of all, if it tells you that there might be blocking, there might be something else going on that it couldn't find or couldn't read that page, that's a really good sign that maybe we need to do some technical SEO stuff. That is a little bit more complicated. You're going to want to work with your web development company or a company like Blue Compass to dig into. We'd be looking at things like, how's your robots.txt file set up? Do you have any crawl blockers on there? With your security and IT team, is there something really technical in the background that we need to do to make this page more crawlable? But assuming it's able to find your content and it's able to get through it, then the best way to optimize is our really classic SEO. We want readable content. So is it easy to scan? Do you have heading tags, easy to read body copy, maybe some lists, some bullets, anything like that AI platform would easily be able to scrape, consolidate, and summarize. That's going to be the first thing you're going to want to look for. The second thing is evergreen content. We know that AI crawl systems are becoming more and more used. They're crawling the internet more often, but they have a bandwidth of what they can crawl at a time. So if you have more evergreen content that's going to last a while, that's going to be easier for an AI platform to serve up time after time and to continue to give quality results for. So that's another factor that we want to be looking at when we're looking at AI content. Another one is Schema. So we are big proponents. If you've watched videos from Blue Compass before, you know we're talking about Schema. It's one of our favorite SEO hacks. But really getting into Schema, it's the too long didn't read for a search engine and now also for an AI bot and an AI system as they're crawling through your website. So it's taking that content that's on the front-facing side of your page, it's making it as easy to digest as possible. What are the headings? What are the questions we answer here? Is there any FAQs? Do we have any videos on the page? What are those real highlight reels from the page that they want? Schema, we have seen in almost all of the pages that we're looking at in our GA4 platform that we're seeing AI traffic from, they all have customized page-specific schema on them. So it needs to be there. We're really seeing that as a great result from it. And those are the main things we want to look at as we're looking at optimizing for AI traffic. Obviously, the other things, like if the page takes too long to load, it's going to take too long for a bot to crawl through it. So we don't want any heavy loads, things like that. But it's really those traditional SEO best practices, doubling down on them, being really stringent, really detailed. And then the other thing to think about, which we all know meta titles are important. We all know page titles are important. But thinking about like what's the user journey that if I went into ChatGPT and I did a search and then I ended up back on a website, all they can see from your site is that title. So there's no meta description coming into that little preview. There's the source, whatever ChatGPT or the platform summarized it as, and then there's the title that's hyperlinked to your article. So being really diligent about what those titles are. Do you need to think, we've been talking about how do we get our brand name more noticed? Do we need to incorporate our brand name into our titles on a regular basis? Is it eye-catching? Does it make me want to learn more about it? We just really need to take the time and not forget about the importance of the title, since that's the only interaction they have with you if they don't click through to that page.
Yeah.
One thing I think that's interesting is, most people who go to an AI platform and do a search aren't necessarily looking to visit a web page or another source. Thus, if you can incite that behavior when someone does a search, it's very powerful, because they're saying, wow, I really want to learn more about this, or I like what this brand has to say. I have to explore this more. I'm going to go to their website. So traffic from AI platforms could potentially be even more valuable than a query from a search engine. We'll see. It's all still playing out, but it's really important. You want to show up on these platforms.
Absolutely. Organic traffic is traditionally, so traffic coming from a traditional search engine is traditionally the highest converting percentage of traffic that's on your website. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw AI overtake that in the next couple of years, because like you said, they're not there to visit your site. They're not there to leave that AI experience, whatever they're choosing to use. So if they make that choice, they are so dedicated to what's coming next that we would not be surprised if that was a really high converting traffic source.
And we're currently seeing that through high average engagement times and high engagement rates. And we're seeing it, although that traffic comes into your site, it's not coming in under organic, it's coming in as referral traffic in most cases. We're seeing users from these AI platforms behave more like an organic user than a referral, which is why we need to pay attention to it. Even if it's a small amount of traffic comparatively right now, it's only going to continue to grow in importance.
Absolutely.
It almost feels like it's replacing non-branded search traffic.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing that decrease as we're talking about all those other things. And if this is what becomes that non-branded, because they're not coming looking for your brand, there's a way that we can start to make some of that ground back.
Again, search is evolving, and so you got to stay on top of it.
Absolutely.
So we hope that was helpful for you. Thanks for tuning in today. If we can help you with your search engine optimization, with generative AI optimization, we do this every day. We also build really, really incredible websites that get found in search by social, generative AI platforms, and that actually get results for clients, award-winning websites. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll talk to you next time.